Okay, so welcome to part three. And if you're just joining us, what I'm doing is that it's why do I collect LP records? Because I love the sound of records. And what I'm doing is I'm going through the record collection right now, and I'm pointing out those gems from the early '70s and and on that I've got in my collection that you might not know about. And I'm also going through the collection and stating what the best sounding pressing of that record is that I know about. So here we go. And where we left off was with Leonard Cohen. If you haven't heard this LP by Leonard Cohen, I mean, stop the film right now. Go to on YouTube and look it up and start listening to this. And Babylon, what's he got on here? A Thousand Kisses Deep, By the River's Dark, My Secret Life. Man, just mind blowing songs on here because the guy's a poet. I think he spent 10 years in a convent and he wrote this record. I mean, there's a lot of amazing songs on this record. And of course, Leonard, he's not the greatest singer in the world, but he's got that rural, rasp kind of a voice. He's always got those good singers to help him back up. So it's very, very great sounding record. And a record, you turn the lights down low and you listen to this thing. Yeah, that'll change your life again. It's one of those great, great records. Okay, so a couple other of the Leonard Cohen ones. There's another one that I think is really good. These two are probably my two favorite Leonard Cohens. He's put out a lot of records. Of course, like I said, I don't have all the records that he's got because these two here, this one and the other one, this has got some really good songs on it too. I really like this record, and it's on the Music on Vinyl. That's the best one I can find, best sounding one. And this is another good one. I think that's really good Leonard Cohen record. And he's got this new one out here, and I like this one too. That's really good. Okay, so now we've got. Well, I'm going to bring up something I think that's a little bit of an interest. Now, unless you're from Canada, you probably don't even know about Stompin' Tom Connors. He's kind of like what I call him the Johnny Cash of Canada, and he talks a lot about the different things that are Canadians love. He's got on here the snowmobile song and across Canada and my stomping grounds, and he's got a song on here called Tilsonburg, and it's about picking tobacco in Lower Ontario. So a lot of the southern people that have tobacco, man, they can really relate to a song like that, and you can relate to it. And the guy's got a really good voice. It's different. Again, you can just check it out on YouTube, and you might find it very really cool. Okay, so now we get to Alice Cooper. This is a Rhino reissue of Alice Cooper's record, Billion Dollar Babies, and they have done a phenomenal job with this record. This is the best package ever produced for this record right here. I've been looking on eBay for a long time, and it's really hard to get really nice records, pristine type packages of Alice Cooper records because, a lot of younger, it's like trying to get really nice pristine copies of Black Sabbath. You're going to have to pay a premium for it because there was a lot of them out there, but the really nice ones, they want a good money for it because they don't have the panties or they didn't have the dollar bill or all that kind of stuff, or they're scratched up. And this record, I've had Japanese copies, I've had German copies, I've had them with the panties, without the panties, I've had the green labels, I've had them all. This beats them all hands down. And it's just a wonderful package, and it sounds fantastic. Okay, so next up, Love It to Death. Now this is a Japanese first edition, and it's in a pristine condition. I mean, look again, black cover, mint shape. The record itself, you look under the bright light, you don't see any defects on it. And I've had this record for a long time now, and it's the record basically that showed me how important a first pressing is for the Japanese label because this thing, it's just like it's a live recording almost. It's just fantastic how great it sounds. Now, another one of the records that I like by Alice Cooper is this Muscle of Love. This is another really good record. And this is the original first one. It's in that big cardboard box. Now, Friday Music has reissued this record. And I bought it here like a few weeks back. And when I A-B'd these two, First Edition here stands out. You know, that Friday Music, they have a lot of really good records, but they missed the mark on the odd one, and this is one of the ones I feel that they've missed the mark. This one has got the drums and stuff, more punch, more dynamic. So look on YouTube. I'm going to put that one up for sale on YouTube, and I'm keeping the original one that I had. You know, you really want that new one to sound better because the packages and everything are so nice, but it doesn't always work out like that. So I'm keeping the best sounding copy that I can find. Okay, here's that School's Out. Now this record, this is a great record to me because, you know, it came out when that record, I'm 18, came out. Well, I was 18, and School's Out for the summer. You know, they released it just, you know, at the end of when school was getting out. And there's a lot of stuff on this record that I identify with. And of course, again, I've been through so many copies of this record. Friday Music reissued it, and it's so nice to have just a pristine cover. You know, these legs on the back, they always had a little problem. I had one that had a little kink on it. And you know, these legs, they don't fold out to the desk. But you know, as a record collector, you never folded those legs out. You had to have that all nice in there because you can't unfold that. Then it ruins the value of the record. So if you're looking for a good copy of this LP, this is the best one. I've had them all, and this is beautiful. You will love it. Of course, it doesn't have the panties in it, but I mean, it's got everything else. Now, you get the Elvis Costello, great record. This is a UK copy. I know Mobile Fidelity has reissued all this stuff, but you know, we'll get to that in a second. Okay, Elvis Costello, Punch the Clock, great record again. I've got this one. This is good. I haven't really got into it all the way, but this is a good record. Now here, Trust again. This has got Clubland and that on it. This is a UK copy. Really sounds nice. Really nice package. Okay, here we go. This is what I wanted to talk about. This Elvis Costello, Get Happy record. Was it last year? Year before maybe? You know, Mobile Fidelity was one of their first reissues. They reissued this record on double 45, a 2 LP, 45 RPM speed. And I'm thinking, wow, that's like the holy grail. That's going to be awesome. 45 RPM speed, a double LP, you know, because I always talked about groove cramming. Because this record's got probably 22 songs on it, like 11 songs a side. It's like the old Beatle records, you know, song after song after song, and hit after hit after hit. I mean, this thing is just loaded. Every song is great on it. So when you hear, man, they were going to reissue this, and you're going, great. So you know, bought it right away. And that's pretty. It's like $39. It was a pretty expensive record. And I played it, and I said, well, it sounds really nice. It's got a little bit of air there, but okay, let's put that on. This is the UK copy now. Oh my goodness, this is so much better. The UK press is so much better than the brand new Mobile Fidelity reissue. And this is the 33rd and the 33 and the third RPM, sorry. Now, in the process of all this stuff, I got on eBay and I bought a Japanese copy. Because I'm saying, well, the MoFi is not the best. The Japanese first edition probably is the one. I got that. Sorry. UK original press is better, is the best one. So if you've got that and you're thinking of getting something else, don't bother. This is the best copy that there is out there. Okay, another band you might not have heard of. Cowboy Junkies. These guys, this is a really good group here. Really good songwriting, good musicianship, good female vocals on here. And, you know, it's not every single song is like the best ever, but there's a lot of real good ones on it that make it worth listening to. And of course, there's other folks that every song is great to them. And probably if I listen to it more, I might agree. This is probably about my favorite Cowboy Junkie record. This one here, this has got some really, when I usually when I listen to them, I pull this one out first. I really like this record. And the other one that Cowboy Junkie I think is really good is this one here. You know, I've had some other Cowboy Junkies records, and I think these three are my favorite ones. So that's why I've got those three, and then when I want some, I've got some. Okay, we've got some Cream, and we've got Creedence Clearwater Revival. And what I've got of them, I just have this best of, because a lot of those Creedence records, they had like one or two good songs on there, and the rest of them weren't that great. Except for, of course, Cosmos Factory has a lot of really good tunes on it. So I went to get the best one of this, and I went for the old Mobile Fidelity because that's the it hasn't been reissued that I can find anyway. It may have it, it may be out of print. Okay, so then I've got a few LPs in here that everybody's got. You know, like the Cure. I think this is the best Cure record. I got rid of the other ones. If I wanted to Cure, I put that on. That's the one I want to listen to. Okay, here's one of them gems again. You might not have heard about. This is Air Cut. This is Curved Air. Air Cut. That's the name of their LP. The name of the band is Curved Air. This is on a Japanese pressing, and it's from 1974. I remember back in 1974, I had the original press of this record, and it's got really good guitar work on it, a lot of really good keyboards, female vocals that are really good, and this got some real rocking out rock songs, and then it's got a few, you know, maybe more lighter type songs on it, female vocals, and she plays the violin of all things, the electrified violin. So it's a little bit different. It is, I guess, on that progressive style, and it's a really good, I mean, dynamic record. Even when in the '74 Warner Brother, you know, the Warner Brother label. Warner Brothers has some really good sounding records all the way through, and A&M, some of them old A&M presses, really good too. Some of those other labels, they were okay, but as a whole, Warner Brothers, I thought, always had a good some of the best sounding records that they ever put out. And then we get up to, we're on D, so we're at Deep Purple. Now Deep Purple, of course, they've got a lot of LPs out too, but this is a Japanese press without the OB. If I'm going to listen to Deep Purple, I've had a bunch of their records. I've got rid of them. I'm down to three, my three favorites. Fireball. Who Do We Think We Are? By Deep Purple. This is really good. Of course, the Japanese first press. And guess what the third one is? You'll never guess. Yeah. Hello. Machine Head. Man, I know I've had at least 3 or 4 different Japanese copies of this thing. Never mind, you know, the original one went, I think it's a '73 when it came out, '72, '73 when this came out. Great record, all the songs, you know, so many great songs on here, and this Rhino reissue is the best sounding of all of them. And I can't say enough good about Rhino Records. They really have done a good job. Okay, and now we got into Depeche Mode, and I have a whole bunch of Depeche Mode. I really like Depeche Mode. If you haven't heard Depeche Mode, this is one of my favorite Depeche Mode records right here. This is really good. There's a lot. I like a lot. There's so many great sounding Depeche Mode records that if you haven't heard of them, yeah, you need to give them a try. And of course, we got some Neil Diamond here. All them great hits from Neil Diamond. So now we're gonna go down to the next row down here to finish. Okay, so now we're down on the second row, and Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms. Everybody knows that's a great record. And their first LP. Now this has been repressed, and it's been pressed in this palace in Germany. They do a really fine job. It's a great sounding record again. And the other Dire Straits that I have is Love Over Gold. It's also been redone and pressed at that in Germany. And I'm thinking of getting that. But this record sounds so good. It's a domestic, and it's pristine, and it sounds so good that I'm pretty happy with it. So it's one of those things that's kind of on the back burner right now. And then I've got some of that Thomas Dolby, you know, Blinded by Science stuff. Okay, here we go. And you know, Little Donna been in there. Doobie Brothers. Great sounding record. There's a few Doobie Brothers. When I want to listen to some Doobie Brothers, this is a really good record. It's on the Japanese first edition. This is really good too. This is really good. This is a Japanese without the OB, first edition Warner Brother label. And then, okay, here we go. Now this is The Captain and Me. Friday Music has reissued this one as well. But you know what? It's on eBay. And this is the first edition. This is a lot better sounding than that Friday Music reissue. This Japanese one here. And then we got to the Doors. And this is where, classic quality records really shines. They have done such a nice job with these records. I mean, it's so nice. Now it doesn't have the little yellow window on here, but it's all embossed, shiny covers, and they're double 45 RPM on the Elektra label like that. Now this is the kind of inner sleeves you get with it. You get the good quality inner sleeves. But I'm so pleased with these records on that 45 RPM. Boy, do they sound nice. So of course I sold all my Japanese ones, and I bought these. Now they're a little bit pricey, but I figured, I sold all my other records. I sold all my Beatles stuff, so I had a little bit of money in the PayPal account, and I wanted to have the best version of those Doors records, because the Doors are a nice band. So I've got for the Doors. Okay, the Soft Parade has been reissued, and I didn't pick that one up on here, but I'm going to get it. They got it, I think, you can get the Rhino reissues on. I think I can get it for like $11 on Music Direct or something. So I'm going to pick that up next time. But Waiting for the Sun, of course, L.A. Woman, Morrison Hotel, Strange Days. I think that's the name of that one. And this is the best of. That's just a regular edition. But those are all really good records there, and I really like them, because everybody likes that. But I just wanted to point out that those reissues are worth having. You have to save up to get them. Okay, a little bit of Dream Academy in there. Here's a pretty nice record here, Julie Driscoll. It's an old record, but that's a good one too. If you haven't heard of that. There's an oldie but a goodie here, Fuzzy Duck. That's a good record right there. If you haven't heard about it, have a listen to it. And I got a few Bob Dylan records, not too many, just a couple. This is Dragonfly. That's a pretty good record there. And here's another, I think it's the same band, Dragonfly. And the reason that I got that is because of this. This is an old psych kind of a record. On this Dragonfly, on the Euro Progressive reissue. Man, they got some wild guitar on a couple songs on this record. Really, you're sitting there listening to it, you just got to jump up and air guitar it, because it's so great. You can't sit down when I listen to it. A little bit of Steve Earle. Okay, here's another one of them bands, Egg. They're good. It's not one of the records I go to. It's not one of my favorites of all time, but they're still good, a good band. That's why it's in the collection. I would listen to this stuff again, and it's still here, so you know it's going to be good. Electric Light Orchestra, I've got this one. This one here I really like, and it's music on vinyl. And this is the first edition right here. And then I've got this other first edition. This is another one. I really like this Electric Light Orchestra record here. It's really good. I don't listen to it as much as I should, because it's really good. I really like it. And then we've got, here's one you might not know about, Eloy Floating. Now, this Eloy, they put out a few LPs, but this is the best one that I've heard. That's why I've got it. It sounds really nice. It's a good record. And then we get into the Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I really like them. And I've got those old, I guess I don't know, Mobile Fidelity's been owned by, I don't know how many different people through the years. They've gone into receivership. They sold off their records. This is back in the early 90s. They came out with these 200-gram records, and they were really good. And I've got the Tarkus on that, and of course the first one is on the first edition Japanese. And Brain Salad Surgery again. This is on a first edition Japanese. Trilogy, another good one. Original, that's on the MoFi. Those are all good records, all good sounding, and that's it for the ELP. You can't get your ELP fix on those. It's not going to happen. That's that Unbelievable. That's a 12-inch EP. I like that one. It's in the radio file. Eno.